The advice and opinions expressed by the host of Autism Live and her guests are meant solely as suggestion and should not be in any way construed as child-specific advice. The Center for Autism and Related Disorders advises working with a board-certified behavior analyst who has experience with autism before starting any intensive behavioral intervention. Any choices you make in determining your child's treatment are completely at your own discretion.
Well, today is the One Hope Act Today for military families 10K and 5K run, walk, and family fun festival.
Thanks for coming out to support this awesome cause.
What I'm trying to accomplish here is to get more people involved, more people to be aware of autism as a disorder so that they can be more involved in this effort to help people find resources.
Pull that belly button in, get a nice balance there.
This is an incredible event. I'm very passionate about it. Autism is affecting so many kids across the United States, and I also support our military.
1, 2, 3, 4.
My name's Gunnery Sergeant Sean Tajma. Working with the School of Infantry West. I'm currently running with 1st Light Armored Reconnaissance Battalion. I personally involved with this because my son Jacob has autism. I just want to say thanks to Act Today for what they're doing to help my family and other military families with autism.
Here we go, let's hear it for the 2nd Light Infantry.
Some of the main sponsors here. Of course, One Hope Wine is the title sponsor.
What we do is we donate 50% of our profits back to different partner charities, one of them being Act Today that does a fantastic job.
Act Today is very dear to my heart because when my husband was deployed, they were there when we didn't know how we were going to make things happen. They give so much to the military family, and it comes at a time when you just don't know how you're going to make ends meet. So to me, it's more than just an event, and it's more than just a grant. It's a gift.
All right, you guys, have we gone over the rules?
Thank you all to the teams, to the individuals that donated to this fantastic cause out here again this year. The event got larger.
People ask me why military families with autism, why does Act Today have that as a special program? I'll tell you why. Because our military families should not have to fight two battles. One, to protect our country, and another, to get services for their children. They move so often. Every time they move, they have to start again. We owe it to them. And it just was a tremendous success. So I just want to say thanks to everybody for taking part in it.
Check this out, Marine.
See all these wonderful people? All you gotta do next year, Marine, Devil Dog, 2 for 100, sign up with me, staff or an email, and I'm gonna take you out here, do a little 5K, little PT early in the morning. After that, you got the time of your life. After that, I might even be able to get you a letter of appreciation, maybe a little libo time. How's that sound?
Sign up for next year because this is an event that comes on and on. It's a win-win situation here.
Welcome back to Autism Live. We're so excited because we have with us right now Jennifer Jones. And, you know, Jennifer is with Autism Speaks, but things change so quickly. I'm going to allow you to say what your job title is, what your job description is.
Sure.
Go for it.
Well, it's always a mouthful. You know.
Yes.
So I'm the Director of Field Development for Southern California Autism Speaks.
All right. And so what I know from that is that, as I always say, you make good things happen in my backyard.
That's my goal. I mean, I try.
You do.
So we serve anywhere from pretty much, we're actually moving more and more north. Right now, basically Santa Barbara all the way down to the border. Wow. And then we're moving out, you know, a little bit inland to Inland Empire and San Bernardino.
Wow. And you got a bunch of events that are coming up here in Southern California. We're gearing up. We're excited about the big Los Angeles Walk Now for Autism that happens at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena on the 2nd of April. Now, in my experience, this is the first time that the walk has coincided with World Autism Awareness Day. Is it the first time it's happened?
Yes, it is, and I'm very excited about that. I saw that as an option with the Rose Bowl, and I thought, what better day to have our walk and celebrate our children and our families and spread awareness.
Yeah. So we're all going to be lighting it up blue that day, and very excited about that, and turning out for the biggest, right? It's still the biggest walk.
It sure is. The largest walk in our organization.
And it's amazing. To me, it's life-changing. It has always been life-changing. See, I get emotional already. But you know, there are certain milestones that we all kind of go, okay, well, a year ago when we were doing this, this is what we were going through, and 2 years ago. So, gosh, I've lost track of which walk this is for me. I want to say it's my 8th walk. Does that make sense? Because there have been like 11 of them, right?
Well, this is my 12th.
Wow.
There's actually been quite a few.
Okay. But I think it's my 8th walk, and I'll have to look at that. No, 8th, 9th, 10th, I don't know, somewhere in there. But to see how my child has grown and changed is amazing. But to see how we as a community have grown and changed is so powerful to
definitely.
me. How many people are you expecting this year?
We're expecting 55,000.
That's a lot of people.
Yes, it is.
And there's so much hope in seeing that many people come out to participate.
It's amazing. I mean, it's such an amazing day, and like you said, to see the evolution of the walk and to see it grow and see what it's become.
Yeah.
And for me, obviously serving the families and the supporters, but really when it comes down to it, as you know, it's all about the resource fair and what we can provide as far as resources to our families.
Yeah. And I want to touch on that just briefly because there's a lot of things that the walk does. I mean, the walk raises money.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a big part of it. But I think a lot of people on the outside look at it and go, well, it's just a fundraiser. And if that's what you're thinking, boy, you're missing it. Not to say that the money is not important, and the money goes to a lot of really important things. Do we want to talk for a minute about what the money gets used for?
Sure. Well, it's our biggest walk and our biggest fundraiser for our organization. Obviously, we're serving all of Southern California, so it's really important.
Yeah.
It is important that we fundraise. We're really trying to boost registration. even though registration is free, we really want people to register to fundraise so we can continue to provide these services. As you know, we give several grants. We have neighborhood grants, which go specifically to service providers, and companies are working directly with our children and adults with autism, and that's a broad range. And we gave away 14 this past year to Southern California. We're really proud of that. We have iPad grants. We do swimming and safety grants, obviously for the wandering issue and drowning issue, which is devastating. And then we have our toolkits, which are amazing. We're up to 42 now, if you can believe it. And the Baker Summer Grants, so opportunities for our kids, which, for a child like my son, it's always been a challenge to find a camp that would be suitable for him, that I can, afford, and that would accept him. And, what's great about it is that's including, after school camps, summer camps, winter camps. What do you do with your child during these times, right? Yeah. So there are so many aspects of, what we're doing. And then also, as you know, we do many different training sessions. So behavior workshops, autism safety fairs, and town halls. So this is where all these funds are going. It's so important.
And, if there's anybody out there that's watching that still is on the side of criticizing about where does the money go, there's one line, I don't know whether it's like 5 parents that say this, but where they go, well, I don't know anybody who has personally benefited from money that was donated to a walk for Autism Speaks. And it makes me crazy, because I want to lovingly embrace that parent and say, how many people are you talking to? Because I can't think of anybody that I know directly in the autism community that has not benefited in some way from those grants. I can't think of a single person who has not benefited in some way. And it may not be that like, for instance, I think about the fact that Nancy for ACT Today, for Autism Care and Treatment Today, which is in itself its own autism charity, and it does its own specific, they have their own lane that they run in, which is different. But Autism Speaks helps them to be able to put on their Autismo y Familia grants, to be able to put to their events, to be able to have an entire day conference that is just in Spanish that brings resources to our underserved populations. That's amazing. And when you think about what you guys have done for the swimming component in the last 2 years, I just want people, I know it gets easy to just keep saying something over and over and over again because somebody said it 12 years ago. Update your Rolodex of things that you say, because you guys are making a difference. And yes, a lot of money that Autism Speaks is able to raise goes to research, but if you think that isn't making a difference either, guess again. Look at what's coming out of the research that's helping. So I don't mean to get on a soapbox, but when somebody's trying to do something good, let either be positive or let it go. My mother used to say, if you can't say something nice, then don't say something. Don't say anything at all. If you disagree, then but get it right.
Yeah, exactly.
Get it right. And this money does go to communities. It helps families. It's saving lives. So
it definitely impacted my life. I mean, I attended my first walk years and years ago, shortly after my son was diagnosed. And we found services, my parents found services at that first walk that Dylan still uses today.
Right.
And we're talking 12 years running. So, I'm definitely here because I'm passionate about, it's not just about my kid anymore. Hasn't been for years.
Right.
Obviously it is about him, but it's about, the hundreds of kids that I've met and worked with over the years. Some of them are adults now.
Yeah.
And it's about the families, and it's about the passion to be an advocate for our families and to provide resources that weren't available when I started this journey.
Absolutely.
And I'm so proud of that. I want to help people, so that's my goal, and that's why I'm here.
Well, and I want to say too, so we've talked a little bit about the money that's raised, but that's that's just one of the things that happens at the walk. And you touched on a little bit the resource fair. It is the biggest resource fair that there is. And how it helped you to find services. It's helped my family to find services. It's helped me to know what's available. Because we try to do that here on the show globally. It's hard to be able to say everything that's available. But we try to fill you guys with hope and let you know some things that are available. And when you write in a question, hook you up with one of those things. But you get to go to the resource fair and you look around. It's impossible to think that there's no resources if you go to this, because you can't. I don't think that it's so big now. I'm not sure that somebody can do the whole thing in one day.
You definitely have to have your running shoes
on.
And
you have to be focused.
Have a bag
and keep moving.
with you. Exactly. It's interesting when you're saying how year to year evolving. So Dylan just turned 16 recently, and so right now I'm in the beginning phases of transition because he will be doing the transition program. And it's just really interesting, the whole process, and it's almost like a second job already.
I'm gonna have you pull your hair back just a little bit.
No,
you can hear you. Okay.
And so it's extremely interesting, the process, and to see how we all evolve in this next stage, and really thinking about what's ahead. And honestly, some of it's very scary. But that's why, when we're building these resource fairs and our town halls and everything that we do, it's important to know that we're really looking at autism as, a lifelong journey, and trying to provide different resources out there for any age, and any need and any level. So that's one thing I'm really proud about too, because I'm in it right now. I know you're in it in a different stage too. So
but I'm learning from all of you guys as I watch. Jem will be 13 this summer, and I feel the teenage thing coming and grabbing me by the neck and taking me down a long dark alley. but ask me how I really feel about it. My eyes are open and I'm watching, and from the first time that I went to an autism walk, where I just walked with my bag and took one piece of information from each table and kept moving, and then went home and sorted through it and put it in a binder that I still have and use. Thank you very much. There were things that that were for teenagers that I went, well, I'm going to need it eventually, and I tucked it away. And I go back, and believe me, not just for purposes of the show to go, oh, who would we like to book on next? I go back and use that for myself as a person. But so the research, and the other thing that you guys do really well, and I feel like a lot of other people then went, oh, that's so smart, we're going to do it in some way, shape, or form, is that you require for each booth to have an activity that is kid-friendly.
Oh, absolutely.
And I understand that the idea behind it originally was so that the kids could be happy and occupied, and then the parents could have an opportunity to talk. But the byproduct of it is that it is the biggest fun day for kids, where people accept them for who they are. You don't have to apologize for anything.
Oh, of course not. Yeah. And, the one great thing about the walk, too, is we have live entertainment on the stage the whole time, and then we have a kids zone with activities. So, and it's, anywhere from bouncy houses, but we really have built that out and tried to have a full range. And for older kids as well. So it gets more and more exciting every year, I think.
And I think if you're thinking that this is just for little kids, I want you to rethink that. Years ago, before I was doing Autism Live, I had a radio show, and I came to cover it for Everyday Autism Miracles, and I had a bunch of interns who were college students who were on the spectrum. And I brought them all with me. We were handing out flyers and doing all kinds of things. I brought them all with me, and they had the most fun. At one point, I think you had the Laker girls there. They got to meet the Laker girls. And let me just tell you that these 20-something gentlemen...
I was going to say, I'm sure they were not fighting that, right?
They were like, this is the best day ever. Anytime you want us to go to an event, we want to go to an event with you. It was a big deal, and the entertainment is really cool. So now we should say, specific to this year, year, anything specific that I know, sometimes you can't give things away. Is there anything that's different this year, or somebody that's going to be there that you want to put the word out?
Well, I mean, we have exciting activations. One thing that I'm proud of is that we build relationships, obviously, with community partners, people within our autism community, but also a lot of our sporting teams. So we are going to have activations in the Kids Zone with the LA Galaxy and the LA Sparks. So that will be really fun.
Yeah.
And then I just secured a full range of Star Wars characters coming.
Love it.
So I think that will be exciting. And then we have a lot of great performers, including Flashback Heart Attack, which is a really fun 80s band, which is always a huge hit. John Easdale from Dramarama, and he is both just a great performer, but also he's a father of two daughters on the spectrum, young adults. So we have some surprises too, but it's going to be a really great day. So I'm really excited about it.
I'm excited about it too. Kelby and I will be there. Jem will be there.
When he's our ambassador, Jem, he's always right.
He
is the celebrity.
At our booth, he is, and he hands out flyers. It's his favorite thing to hand out flyers.
That's
I don't completely understand that, but my kid, eventually he'll go and stick his head in his phone, because he does that. But more than anything else, if I said to him, do you want to go to the mall? He would be like, no. But if I said, do you want to go someplace and we'll hand out flyers? Yes. He loves it. He loves talking to people.
Send him my way.
Thanks. I need him though. I need him. But honestly, like you see those guys who can do the house thing and or just stand on he'd be great in Vegas.
Work that. Yeah.
He won't have to worry about work because that will always be an option that he absolutely loves.
So great. And like you're saying, and just to have year after year, all this support and just people that come back year after year. I'm really excited that ABC7 once again is our big supporter, and Philip Palmer. Again,
I was just going to say he was one of the people that
he's been there for every year with us.
My interns got to talk with him, and they just were like, "Oh my gosh, Philip Palmer." They were so excited.
He's such a nice person, and he's really just so passionate about the cause.
Yeah, he's quite lovely.
He's
really
a great
nice gentleman. And I love going and getting to meet and greet and be with all the people. But there's always a moment after we've done a lot and I get exhausted at the booth. But I always take a moment to go and stand in the middle of the resource fair and just look around for just a minute to see all the people, to see all the shirts, all the teams, to see all the little hats that, say, I'm here supporting Anton and I'm here supporting Beth. And the names for the teams, and some people have capes and some people, to just look at it and see the love and to see the hope and know that, I always say this on the show, we can do this together, but we have to hold hands.
Oh, absolutely. I think, again, just the different stages in the journey, too. I mean, it's always so moving to me because, when I see families and talk to them and it's their first walk and it's so difficult and emotional for them. And I remember that stage in my life. It was super rough. But it was kind of, the Oprah aha moment when I went to my first walk that I'm not alone.
Right.
And that this is a community and there are people here that will support me and they're not going to care when my kid has a total meltdown. And I think that's really powerful for our walk and for our families and, just the community. And I think the community is really coming a long way, too.
Honestly, I have seen so much improvement in the last year and our ability to all agree to disagree on some things and agree on other things. I'm quite proud of us as a community that's the, because it's hard.
Yeah.
Our spectrum is so huge and everybody has such individual needs. I'm really proud of, and I must say, too, I'm hopeful, here we are, election time, and I will say that I'm looking to all of our candidates to put forth a plan I want to congratulate Secretary Clinton for setting the standard and putting out a very comprehensive plan that involved all aspects of our autism community. And I hope that other politicians will buy a vowel based on what the girl did, right? And do the same thing. This is where we need to go. But I do want to applaud her for getting together our autism community and putting together a plan. Let's get everybody else to get together a plan.
Well, obviously advocacy is one of our main focuses in general, and we keep pushing forward, and the more that we can work with legislation and our goals, and I mean, look what we've done in even the last 5 years.
It's amazing.
And we got to keep pushing.
But that's part and parcel of the same thing, that when you go to a walk, not only are you there and you get your injection of hope, which hope I think is the single most important factor in doing well for yourself and for your kid. So you get that injection of hope, you're there, you're part of something bigger, and don't for a second think that our politicians don't see how many people show up. When you see that 55,000 people got together in the parking lot on a Saturday morning to stand around and talk about autism and support our kiddos, it makes a difference.
Definitely.
So be a body, get the hope injection, come and join us on April 2nd. Where can people go to find out more about the logistics?
Well, we ask that you go online and definitely register. So it's at autismspeakswalk.org/Los Angeles.
Okay. If you just go to autismspeaks.org
and you look up walks
and locations,
yes, you can find Los Angeles. We're right on top.
And register. It doesn't cost you anything to register, but register. That kind of, registering to that, I'm sure that when you guys are in negotiations and saying we need this for autism, they're asking about what are the numbers.
Absolutely.
So that is like voting right there. It's like voting. So register, be counted. Thank you so much for everything that you do.
You're my favorite.
Well,
I love coming to see you.
You can come and see me all the time because we love you and we love what you do. And the walk is just one of the things that you do. You do many things. Do you want to really quickly say anything else that you're doing besides the walk? I focused only on the walk, Jennifer.
No. Well, it keeps going. So we have 3 walks. We will have a San Diego walk on October 1st.
Okay.
And we will have an Orange County walk on December 4th. Those sites are already up.
I got to put those dates on our calendar.
And then we have already 10 autism awareness events coming up, including your Dodgers. So we'll have to talk offline about that. But I'm excited that we really get to spread awareness and provide just a really awesome evening for our families, and work with these teams, and it gets bigger and better every year. So we have many coming up. Just a quick plug that we have a night with the Clippers coming up on March 28th, and then we also have San Diego Padres on April 20th, and then we have LA Galaxy on April 23rd.
You are a social butterfly to get to all of these things.
I love my sports too.
Well, that's fabulous. And I will just say this, I'm not so much the sports person, but it's great to take our kids to. It's a great social event for them to go to. And I've talked about it on the show before, the Dodgers thing last year, totally life-changing. It's totally, don't even get me started because I'll be crying and sniveling, but man, what a great, great thing. So thank you always for all that you do. If you can't get to the Los Angeles Walk, do go to autismspeaks.org and find the one that's near you. And I really want to encourage you to get involved.
Yes, we're always looking for volunteers and just involvement and partnerships with the community.
There you go. Yeah. It's a great, great thing, and it makes a difference. It absolutely makes a difference. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break, and then we'll be back with more Autism Live after these messages.
Hi everyone, welcome back. For the month of March, we're going to be making a rain stick. And what's really cool about this project is that the steps are pretty simple, so your kids are going to be able to practice a lot of their fine motor skills when making it. Another bonus is that once the rain stick is completed, you guys can use it for a bunch of different programs under cognition and executive functions, things that deals with, seeing versus hearing, or using it also for auditory memory. But we'll get to that later. First, we gotta make the rain stick. So the materials you'll be needing are a paper towel roll, tape, paper, aluminum foil, rice, and any kind of materials you want to use to decorate your rain stick with. All right, let's get to it. So the first thing you want to do is get a piece of tin foil that's about double the length as your paper towel roll. I got this, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll it up like so, and I'm gonna wrap my paper towel roll with it. Okay, and don't worry if it's too messy, okay? This is just to give us a basic shape. Now once I've got this, I'm gonna make it a little bit tighter, and I'm gonna roll it and stick it inside of my paper towel roll. I wanna make sure that it goes all the way through the paper towel roll, and what this does, it acts like a buffer so the rice will go down slowly through the tube. And see how that's nice and in there? Okay, now that I have that, I'm gonna take a piece of paper and cover one side. And I'm gonna take a piece of tape and secure it over the bottom. All right, now that I've got this on, I'm gonna take my rice and pour it in. All right, now that I got the rice in there, I'm gonna seal the other side. Now that this is constructed, don't forget to use your imagination to decorate this any way that you want. And here's my finished rain stick. Don't forget you can decorate yours however you see fit. I decided to use tape and pipe cleaners, but you could always paint it, add sparkles, just whatever you feel like doing. Now that this is done, let's take a listen to it. What does that sound like to you? I think it sounds like rain too. What does rain look like? Ah, that is what rain looks like. You can ask them a whole bunch of different questions using this after it's already been made. Well, until next time, craft on. Bye guys.
Can you see me? Can you see me flying by your side?
Over there, Susan.
Hello and welcome to Autism Live, a very special edition. I am joined by two real powerhouses in the field of autism who are doing some amazing work with a program called Autism Works Now. I am joined by Joanne Laura. Everybody has met Joanne before. Joanne founded Autism Movement Therapy. She is the executive director of Autism Works Now. And I'm joined by Susan Osborne as well, who is the director of workplace readiness. Is that correct, yes. Susan? And many of you might remember her from Autism Unites. She was the executive director of that program. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh,
Thank you
you're
for
doing
having us on the
such great, important work here. So let's get right to it. What is the mission of Autism Works Now?
The mission of Autism Works Now is to employ our individuals on the autism spectrum to teach them the pre-employment skills that they need in order to get a job, earn a paycheck, live independently, rent apartments, and have relationships, and have a really full, successful life.
Okay, Susan, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes, I think the work part of it is very important because that's kind of the center of our life. And work is how we move away from depending on our parents and caregivers to getting that social circle of friends. And without a job, it's very hard to make that happen. And work also gets future work because most jobs are referrals. So you get them from friends, you get them from other employers or coworkers. So without a job, we're very limited in being able to have the life that Joanne just said.
Which obviously affects everything, self-esteem, independence, I mean, so important. Now, Joanne, you've had a very successful career working as a special needs educator and then creating autism movement therapy. What made you decide to shift your attention from all of those things you do, which, let's say, you're one busy lady, I know you, to employment issues?
It's a great question. I saw so many of my students that were my students in my classroom in the 1990s, in the early 2000s, who aged out of the public school setting.
And fell off the cliff. That's what we call it, right?
Fell off the cliff.
Falling off the cliff. That's
Had
what
nothing,
us parents call
nowhere
it.
to go. Were living in the back room of their parents' house with, as you know, we don't even have good social programs. Forget jobs. We don't even have places for our individuals when they age out of a high school setting to go, to make friends, to have a quality of life. And I was so distraught over that. All these were kids that were with me in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. They were little guys, and they were great artists, and they were wonderful human beings. And I was like, you know what? This is just absolutely unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
It's unconscionable.
It is. And I come from an educator, and an educator background, and I don't have children. So I have a lot of connections to families because they became like children for me. And it's like seeing your own kids not have anything to do with their life for the next, as Joe Mantegna tells us, for the next 60 years, we have nothing to do.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know who Joe is, of course, the star of Criminal Minds and who has a 20-something daughter, 27-year-old, who works as a makeup artist now, correct?
That's right,
Yeah.
she does.
Yeah.
You know, but she also has this. She has the same issues. We're talking. The older our individuals are, what we see is the less quality of life they have, because I think the younger parents got savvy, and they said, "Wait a minute, what do you mean there's nothing for our children?"
Yeah.
And they began to create organizations and
yeah.
opportunities for their children. The older individual, you're going to meet Chris Grayson today. He's 47 years old. He hasn't had a job since he was in high school in a workability program, and he now has a job at Eva Lund's Special Spirit Ranch,
which is where Wyatt goes, and we donated our horses, Big Moon and Mini Moon.
That's right.
And I'm on the board.
That's right.
Okay, so
part-time, and he goes there and works, and he gets a paycheck.
Fantastic.
He loves it.
He's probably helping take care of my 2 babies. So, Susan, what about you? What drew you to this program working with Joanne?
I came from being a parent, has a young adult son who's also in the program.
Okay, and tell us, what's your son's name? And
Jacob.
Jacob, and he's how old?
And Jacob is 22.
Okay.
Now, when I describe him, he sounds like he should have transitioned from high school with no problem. Graduated with his diploma, made the honor roll, had 3 workability jobs, did have a job for a while, did attempt college, was not successful in either one, and right now it's been a challenge to try and get him to launch.
So you're coming at it from the parent's perspective, and
Yeah.
you've been there in the trenches, knowing these issues.
The
and
other-
your son's very high functioning.
On paper, but in reality, and Joanne can attest to the fact, it's very hard for him to make that initial contact. The other problem is your child is supposed to move away from you when they are out of high school. Typical high school students,
They individuate.
they find their friends, and that's how they move away. When your child doesn't have that circle, he does have some friends, but not a real strong support system.
Isolation.
It's the parent, but how can your child be independent or learn that when they're depending on the people they're supposed to be independent from? So that's a bind
It's
that
a conundrum, isn't it? Very big
exactly.
one.
What do you do? Where I don't know of any other program that's doing exactly what we're doing to help them with the pre-employment skills.
Yeah.
Without that, what do you do as a parent? And it's very frustrating when your child ages out of high school, is not getting any more services. Maybe they're a regional center client, but depending on who your regional center caseworker is or what you happen to find, it's a challenge.
Okay, before we get into some of the unique things that your students are doing to prepare themselves, because I do want to get into that. Why? We have seen this coming for decades. We are not prepared. Why are we so ill prepared for this, Joanne?
Well, I think there's a couple of answers to that. One, we have to go back and look at, I think, our EdGov and the way we're educating individuals with disabilities. And that's across the board, broad spectrum, individuals with disabilities. My idea is that we need to rethink what that academic instruction looks like. And it should be academic instruction along with pre-employment skills. We should be talking about jobs when these little guys are in kinder and first grade, just like all the neurotypical families are. But we're not, because a parent has a dilemma. They're reluctant to talk to their child about a job because they're like, I don't think there's any jobs.
Yeah, I don't know.
So why should I put this idea in my child's head?
And some of us are just hoping our kid's going to be able to get a job at McDonald's, much less a job that is fulfilling in a career, so to speak. Not that a job at McDonald's isn't a good thing, because I know they can go up the chain there. I'm not dismissing that, but for so many of us, speaking for myself as a parent, and Wyatt is 14 now, we're just hopeful that our kid can have any job.
That's right.
And it's so hard, as you said, to instill that. All right, keep going on why you think.
And also, I think because, just as we look at autism and we say, oh, it's that disability that doesn't wear a face, it's the same with their skill sets. They have very splintered skill sets, most of our kids. They're very good at one thing or another thing and two things, but then they have issues with the whole. So why aren't we looking at that as a nation, as a country, that says, hey, people don't want to do electric jobs anymore, woodworking jobs, there's horticulture, there's bakery, it goes on and on and on. As we know, Wayne Fogelsong has 22 skill sets at Miller Career and Transition Center, which is
here in Los Angeles,
which is a vocational center that teaches, and we have two individuals with us that you're going to meet today, Lacey Brink and Luke Rose, who go there and have been there for 3 years. They have jobs at Macy's, they have jobs at Best Buy and Joann's. These are all what we call workability jobs that are part of that skill set that they're taken care of very well until 22. So what we're really looking at is what happens after 22. Not a lot. That's the issue. So I think we need to look at it as a country, and we need to say, all right, so why aren't we training our individuals to do the skill sets that we need people to be doing skill sets in, and then making the liaison with the employer, because that's an issue too. Employers don't know our kids. They're reluctant to hire our kids. But the full inclusion program that's been nationwide has been good for our kids, because the very individuals that our kids go to school with are going to be the people they're sitting across from with their resume that are going to hire them.
Right.
We are closer, and we see it when we see younger individuals with individuals who are in an executive position, and our individuals coming in with a resume.
Right.
I saw it with Chris Grayson, who you'll meet today, who's 47. He went to Petco. He had to do his interview. He had to do his application online. We set him up an interview. He went in at 3:30 on a Tuesday. There was a young boy there who said, "Hey, we have another individual here with autism. We love him. He's been here for a long time. He's a great guy." He was a manager, but not the manager that interviewed Chris. He was an older individual. I didn't get that same hoorah feeling from him. I got it from the younger individual, and I thought, inclusion at work.
Right.
He knew Chris. He understood him. We need more of that, absolutely. So now the pendulum needs to swing the other way, and we have to start employing, and we've got to go back to education of employers and say, they show up on time, they have dignity, they bring skill sets that you may not know or have to the job, and we need to begin to look at them as options. That's not happening.
Right.
That's not happening.
So we know what we need to do. Let's get back to the program and tell us a little bit about some of the unique things your students have been doing to prepare themselves for successful employment.
Well, the first part of our workshop is a roundtable discussion. And one of the things they do is they talk about what their week's like and what they're going to be doing, which is similar to work when you sit around the lunch table. So we want them to get comfortable with sharing information about themselves, remembering information about other people, because when you are at work and you talk about what happened on Friday and you see them on Monday, people kind of expect you to ask, what did you do? So we're getting them the soft skills, the, remembering, sharing, getting them comfortable. So that's how we open up our workshop. We also help them with stress management. We use the incredible 5-point scale to help them understand that when they're starting to get they're anxious, what are some techniques you can do to self-regulate that? Because if you blow up at work or do something that people don't expect, you could lose your job, get a bad reputation. So what are ways you can manage an uncomfortable situation at work? And then the other thing we're doing is talking about character counts. It's a program I just went through a training and talking about how do you make good decisions at work based on treating people fairly and with respect. And getting
I think
them
we all could use that course.
That's right. She loved that course.
But it's great because it gives them, again, a baseline. So when they go to work, they've practiced these skills and they've understood them. So again, it's kind of practice before they actually get to work, so they're comfortable with
Right,
that.
like I said, we could all use this. Now,
And Susan, can she say one thing about the one question where we ask, that one question that we use at the roundtable at the first hour? It's a 2-hour workshop on Thursdays here in Los Angeles from 6 to 8 in Tarzana. So the first hour, 6 to 7, is as we're speaking. And then the 7 to 8 is an instruction lecture that's with a PowerPoint, and it's a curriculum-based instruction with an assessment piece at the end.
Okay.
So, they get a little of this, a little of that. But in the first round table, they have to talk about someone else at the table. A skill that's tough for a lot of our kids because of theory of mind and mind blindness.
Yes.
So they're learning to say, and Susan comes up with great ideas and questions about, could you talk about somebody at the table and what they like? Where do they go on the weekends, and what's a hobby for them?
So that perspective taking, teaching them empathy, teaching them relating to others. Okay, I want to talk to you more about, you're going to be writing a book about this process, which is so exciting, and some of the things that have surprised you during this whole process. But we want to get to the students, okay?
Yes.
We're bringing some of them on. This is a great opportunity to see what they're learning.
And we call them candidates.
Candidates, okay, I love that. And I want to know, where can people get more information? Our viewers are going to be all over this.
Oh, good. All right. autismworksnow.org.
Okay.
We have a website.
Okay.
And we have a lot of pictures on the website of the candidates in the sessions. And we also do a field trip, we didn't say, but each month we have 3 sessions in our office, and the 4th session is a field trip, and we go to an employer. And we've been to Broadcasting, HR, Foxlot. We went to Actors Gang. We went to the set of The Kingdom, and there were extras on the set. We went to Chuck Schaffler at Fox.
Autism parent who's runs
was
FX.
great with our kids. FX Studios. We here at CARD, we're going for a tour afterwards. So we take advantage of letting our candidates see what are the options out here for me.
Yeah.
Because they don't
Exposure.
know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we got to go. Quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be joined by some of the candidates at Autism Works Now. Great ladies. Perfect. We'll be back in a minute.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello, fellow activists. In our last segment, we talked about step number 2, educate yourself. Step number 3 is get support. Now, any journey can feel overwhelming if you feel like you're walking it alone. Well, you're far from alone, because with 1 in 50 kids diagnosed with autism today, there are a lot of us out there. Of course, there's always the issue of financial support. Now, there's a handful of organizations out there that offer financial support to families in need. ACT Today, or Autism Care and Treatment Today, is one of them. Visit our website at www.act-today.org to find out more about our grant process. I want to talk about a different kind of support today, emotional support. Now, you can get that from other travelers on this path. Some of the best advice I've ever received is from the moms of other kids with autism who went to school with Wyatt or were involved with programs with him. Then there are the pioneers. These are the families that have gone through this years ago, and there was very little information out there. All of these people seem to have the desire to pay it forward. Now, one of them, Lisa Ackerman, who is one of my mentors, started an organization called TACA, Talk About Curing Autism. She actually took the concept of mentors and support groups and made it available to everybody. You can go to their website, talkaboutcuringautism.org, to find out more. During the first and most difficult year after Wyatt's diagnosis, I wrote an email to close family and friends, letting them know what was going on and the challenges our family was facing and why we dropped out of sight. I was amazed at the outpouring of love and affection and all the help I received from that email. First, you have to be vulnerable. You can't be afraid to ask. Try this out. Could you cook me a meal? Are you going to the market? Can you pick me up a few things? Could your kids play with my kid and make them feel included? Or can you come over and clean my house? Well, maybe not that last one, except with your best friend. And maybe the best support of all is having someone that listens, and that doesn't cost a dime. So until next time, surround yourself with the loving kindness of others and keep the faith. We are back with Autism Live and our very, very special show. Oh, there we go. We got Luke Rose waving at you and Zachary Picard joining me now. We are focusing on Autism Works Now, and this is the innovative program which is educating employers and places individuals on the autism spectrum in the workplace in meaningful job. Welcome to the show, Luke and Zachary.
Yep.
How you doing?
Good. Doing great.
Good. It's so great to have you here, guys. I want to hear a little bit about your involvement in this program. First, I want to ask you now, Joanne and Susan are there, so if we need to ask them anything, they're right here in the studio. They can help us. They can answer any questions if we don't know the answers. First of all, Luke, how old are you?
20.
You're 20. Zachary, how old are you?
24 years old.
24. Okay. What's it like being in your 20s? That was a long time ago for me. You having a good time?
Yes.
Okay, great. Have you ever had a job before? Luke, how about you?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Zachary, how about you?
Yes.
You did have a job before?
Yes.
Okay, what was your job before?
Dollar Tree.
Doing what, darling?
Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree, okay.
Dollar Tree.
Okay.
Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree. Okay, I'm sorry I didn't understand that, but now I've got it. You were at the Dollar Tree. Did you like that?
Yes.
I bet you were very, very good at it. Now, why is having a job important to you?
Because I like stocking beverages, water and tea, diet soda.
You were stocking beverages.
Yes.
And water and diet soda and tea. And are you doing that still, Zachary?
Yes.
Okay, but you're not, okay. Joanne's saying you're not doing that now, but you did do that, and you're learning new skills now. Is that correct?
Yes.
You're learning new skills now. Now, Luke, tell us why having a job is important to you.
Helps me be better and help me have a great job.
Yeah, you want to have a great job, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important, isn't it? To feel like you're contributing and to feel like you're going somewhere every day and doing something of value. Okay. Now, I understand you've gotten to do a lot of fun things with Autism Works Now, and even just this morning, Joanne was telling me you were doing something. Can you tell me about what you were doing this morning?
We did movement therapy, drumming, and art.
Oh, how did you like that, Zachary?
Yes.
You liked that? The movement therapy, the drumming? Did you get to do the drumming?
Yes.
Yeah, how was that?
Good.
Good. And what about the art?
Yes.
You like to do art, and
Yes.
paint, draw, and do all those things?
Yes.
Yeah, Luke?
Yep.
You're really into art?
Yep.
My son Wyatt is an artist. He's 14, and he calls his art Y art. He's what we call an eco artist. He takes recycled cartons, even from Starbucks and places like that, and egg cartons, and he paints them and makes all these sculptural art forms out of them. So isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, so I hear that you got to do something pretty cool. Meet one of the Jonas Brothers. Were you there when you met the Jonas Brothers?
Yes, I was.
Oh, what was that like?
Really interesting. From Set of the Kingdom and Paul Kurta.
From Set of the Kingdom. That's Joanne. What's Set of the Kingdom?
They went on The Kingdom, and they were extras, and Paul Kurta was the executive producer who brought us on, invited us onto the show. And they all were, Zachary wasn't with us, but Luke was there, and we met.
Which Jonas brother?
Yeah, it was Nick, right?
Yeah, Nick Jonas.
Nick,
Yeah.
I hear he's a really cool guy. What was he like, Luke?
He was like a teenager to me.
That's so great. What a cool guy he is. Well, big shout out to Nick for being a part and helping, right? And the
Yes.
Kingdom. And the producer, Joanne, is named?
Paul Kurta.
Paul Kurta.
Kurta, a friend of mine for almost 38
Paul
years.
Kurta. Okay, you rock, Paul. Okay, what do you think the hardest thing about getting a job is? What is the hard thing about getting a job?
Filling out a resume and trying to find applications.
Okay, that's difficult, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, you have to be, I guess you have to try really hard and be really persistent, huh?
Yep.
Okay, but you're willing to do that, aren't you?
Yep.
Okay. What do you, if you could tell people that are listening, and especially people that maybe could hire either of you for a job, what would you like them to know about how hard you work?
I'm a great worker and I'm a great employee.
You're a great worker and a great employee. Zachary, are you a good worker?
Yes.
Do you like working?
Yes.
You really enjoy it, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. It's much better than just sitting at home, isn't it? You would way rather be at work than be sitting at home, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Good. Okay, what kind of job do you want to have, Luke?
I want to work at the movies.
In the movies?
Yep.
Okay, not the movie theater, but in the movies.
Yep.
Okay, so you
No,
really
I'm
like
a movie theater.
Oh, at a movie theater. Okay. So would you like to be an usher or
An usher.
Okay, that would be a great job for you because you have really great people skills. Yeah, and you know, one of the side benefits to that is you get to see all the great movies, right? Right, ladies? So that's good. Zachary, what about you? What kind of job do you really want to have?
Job do we have?
The job, what kind of job would you like to do? Did you like working at Dollar Tree? Do you
Yes.
like working at stores?
I like working at Dollar Tree.
Yes, do you like organizing things and putting the drinks out?
Put the drinks out.
You like doing that?
Yes.
And I bet you're very, very good at it, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay, so you're here. Okay, Joanne?
Luke, can you talk about your Macy's job?
I work at Macy's.
You worked at Macy's?
I do.
You do now?
Yeah, we fold, we hang, we size. We do go-backs at Macy's.
Okay, and how do you like that?
It's really interesting.
It's really interesting. You never get bored, do you?
No.
Yeah. See, this is something that everybody needs to know, that you love working, and
Yep.
it's really important. Okay, so you're here today to take a tour of CARD, Center for Autism and Related Disorders. Now, you know that this center helps kids like you, younger kids, and kids up to kids your age, to learn how to really function well in the world. What are you excited about seeing today?
About being on TV.
Well, you're excited about being here, yeah, about being on TV, and you know what? You're rocking it. You're doing really well. Are you excited to be here today, Zachary?
Yes.
Yeah, it's fun. Well, you're going to have a really great time touring. We've got somebody coming to pick you up very shortly. I want to know about a special job in the mornings this week. A camp? Is that correct, Joanne?
The camp they're going to is the Expressive Arts Camp.
The Expressive Arts
Autism
Camp.
Therapy is
Okay.
putting on for the spring break.
For spring break. So are you excited about spring break and
Yes.
learning that? Is that going to be doing the drumming and the art and all
Yeah,
of that?
all
okay.
week long.
All week long. Okay. What is the hardest thing you've had to do?
We had to fill out that big application.
Yeah, and that's hard for anybody. Let me tell you, I don't like paperwork. I don't like filling out applications. That's not my thing either, Luke. Zachary, that's hard, isn't it? Having to fill out all that paperwork and do that
Yes.
stuff? Yeah. Well, it's hard, but we got to learn how to do that. And Joanne and Susan are teaching you those things, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah.
You must think these two ladies are wonderful. What do you think of them?
Yep, they're wonderful too.
Okay, Zachary, what do you think about Joanne and Susan? Do you like those two ladies sitting over there? Joanne and Susan. Do you like those two women over
Yes.
there? Yeah, they're great ladies.
Yeah.
They're doing a lot of great work. Okay, so we know what your dreams are for the future.
Yes.
I got to tell you guys, if I had my own business, I think either one of you would be such a great asset, such a great gift to that.
Yes.
And I know how hard you're working. Luke and Zachary, I think you're doing a great job.
Do great job.
You're doing a great job.
Do great
Luke,
job.
Yep.
are you proud of yourself?
Yes, I am.
I'm proud of you guys too. All right, we're going to take a break. Joanne, Susan, how impressive. Brings tears to my eyes. Okay, we're going to come back with
Lacey and Chris.
Lacey and Chris,
Yes.
so we'll be right back.
Joanne, I need my phone back.
Okay.
We are back with Autism Live with our very special program on the Autism Works Now program, which is run by Joanne Lara and Susan Osborne. The ladies are still here in the studio. They're right over there. You can't see them, but if they want to jump in, please, ladies, do. And we are with some of their candidates who are in the program. And right now, I'm joined by Lacey Brink. Hi, Lacey.
Hello.
How are you doing today? Good. And Chris Grayson. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
How does it feel to be here in this TV studio?
A little.
It's interesting.
What did you say about the walls, Chris?
The green, bright green.
They're very green.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Very green.
I kind of like bright colors like that.
Do you? Why do you like bright colors?
My favorite color is blue, but I like every color in that shade of blue that I like. Every color, yeah.
Yeah, I love colors too. My son loves colors. He's an artist.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's just wonderful. So, first of all, Lacey, how old are you?
I am 20.
You're 20? And Chris, how old are you?
47.
47, okay. Well, I can tell you, you're both considerably younger than I am. I'm a little jealous.
It's okay.
So, why is having a job important to you, Lacey?
Well, so you know like what to do when you're out in the environment.
Okay. And is it important to you to have a job to feel worthwhile?
Yes.
It is, okay. Chris, what about you? What What is important to you about having a job?
Making money.
Making money. Hey, we all need to make money, right, Joanne?
To live.
And Susan? Yeah, we need to make money. We have to pay for our things, right? We
Yeah,
have to pay for
bills.
how we live. We have to pay
Yeah.
for cars. We have to pay for food. So that's a very important aspect of a job, which, thank you for touching on that, Chris, because we never really talked about that. As an individual, we have to work, right?
Yeah.
And it's more than money. It's about feeling valuable. Do you feel valuable? Do you feel important going to
Yeah.
work, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Sometimes, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Chris.
Sometimes I don't feel like making it, but this time I have to make it because my mom told me I have to come do this.
Okay, so your mom is very supportive of you doing this.
Yeah.
Okay, you are working at a place that I happen to love.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Where are you working?
At that ranch.
At the ranch. It's called Special Spirits, right?
Yeah.
What are you doing there, Chris?
Um,
What do you do to help Ava at the ranch?
doing stuff and each time I'm there.
Each time you're there? What are a few of the things you do there with the horses?
Sometimes I clean the waste, which I like doing.
Okay.
Pick up the waste and stuff.
Yeah.
Other times, feeding them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever groom them? Brush
Once
them?
I did. One time I did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you met Big Moon and Mini Moon?
Yes, I have.
Those are my son's horses and my horses that we donated there.
Yeah.
And they're pretty, aren't they?
Yeah.
They look just alike. There's just a big one and a little one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Well, I love being at a ranch, and it sounds like you really love being around the animals and being at the ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather work with smaller animals,
Oh, small animals. What kind?
like rats, mice, rabbits, even my favorite animal.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's great. I love all animals too. You're an animal lover.
Yeah.
So you might even work at a veterinarian one day, or at a dog groomer,
maybe
or
a pet
or
shop.
a pet shop.
Yeah.
That would be a great place for you. Lacey, what about you, dear? What do you like to do?
I like to sing and dance.
You like to sing and dance, so you must love working with Joanne Laura here.
I do.
Okay. And what would you like to do? What are your kind of dreams for what you want to do eventually?
Well, I want to work at the Disney store.
At the Disney store?
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't that be a cool job? Yeah. So you'd like to work as maybe selling things there as a
Yeah.
cashier and helping people, a salesperson?
Yeah.
Okay. What kinds of things are you learning working with Joanne and Susan? What kinds of things are you learning?
Learning how to keep her cool and all that.
Learning how to keep your cool.
Yeah.
What about that, Lacey?
How to communicate with people.
Okay. That's really important, isn't it? Especially at work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to know, too, what do you wish people that can give jobs to kids with autism and young adults with autism, what do you want them to know about you? Why you're a good worker? What would you say, Lacey?
That so you know how to know people.
But that you work hard, don't you?
Yes.
And would you like people to know that you're a hard worker?
Yes.
Chris, what about you? I bet you work hard.
Yeah, I work hard, but I do my pace. I don't really work fast or slow. I just go my pace.
You go your pace.
Yeah.
But you know what? I bet that's a good thing because some
Yeah.
people don't go any pace at all at work.
Yeah.
So having your pace is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think you'd be ideal employees.
Yeah.
Chris might also tell us about going to Petco for the interview.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, tell us
went
about
to
Petco.
Went to Petco for an interview, and it's kind of hard to explain right now.
Well, that's okay. So did you do well in the interview?
I think so.
You think so?
Sure, yeah.
I bet you did. I bet
Yeah.
you did. If you felt that it went well, I bet your intuition and your gut on that is right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are doing some very special things this week with the Expressive Arts Spring Camp. What are some of the things you're doing? I hear you're like drumming and some other things. What are you doing at camp?
Drumming, and this guy plays the guitar.
Play the guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lacey, what are some of the other things you're doing? Are you doing any singing and dancing?
We do drumming, and we do like art projects. Well, right now we're working on a mural of a mountain landscape area.
Will you bring that over to show us when the kids are done? Okay, I'd love
It's
to see
really
that.
cool.
A big, huge
That's
mural.
true. They're all working on it
Oh, that
together.
sounds like so much fun.
And we do the dancing. We start with dancing in the morning.
Oh, isn't that fun to kind of get the blood going to start doing some
Yeah.
dancing? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I wish I could join you guys.
come.
Okay. All right. Maybe I'll come over one day. All right. So we talked about your dreams. Now you're going to be going on a tour of CARD, Center for Autism and Related Disorders, where you are now, and you're going to be seeing some of the things that you do here. Now, I just want you to take a moment, because you've got these two wonderful women over here that are guiding you, Joanne Lara and Susan Osborne. What do you think about these two ladies here, Chris?
They're nice.
They're nice.
Yeah.
Are they teaching you a lot?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
A whole lot.
Yeah, Lacey, what do you have to say about these two ladies here? What are they doing for you?
They're very supportive.
They're very supportive. And what more can we ask for in life than to have somebody to support us? Lacey and Chris, it has been a pleasure and an honor
It's been a
interviewing
pleasure.
you. I am so very happy to hear how well you're doing.
Thanks.
And I just want to say to anybody that's listening today, if you don't think these kids would make great employees, think again. They work hard, they're passionate, they're committed, and they want to please. What more could you ask for? Thanks for joining me,
Thanks.
Chris and Lacey. We'll be
Thank
back
you.
in a minute with more with Joanne Lara, Susan Osborne, and the Autism Works Now initiative.
What is autism? What is autism?
What is autism?
What is autism? What is autism?
What is autism?
I've been asking myself that for a very long time.
Let me think about that one.
Trying to just
Jeez. Let me think. Oh man, that's a rough one. Yes.
autism.
Autism is a neurological disorder that affects many of our kids in different ways.
It's a learning disability that affects the cognitive functions of the brain.
A lot of people have the misconception that it's a disability, and it's really not.
I look at it as like a special gift.
When one person thinks differently from another.
It's an opportunity for everyone to learn to understand someone that's a little different than them.
Autism is the ability to educate.
They're given so much talent in different areas.
To me, autism means a chance to be with and be around people you really care about. Autism is beautiful.
It's a way of seeing the world differently.
It's always unique, totally intelligent, and sometimes mysterious.
Happiness that comes out of my son's hard work.
It's a movement.
Unpredictable.
That's right.
Awesome. Love. The field I want to work in.
Laughter, fun, joy. Autism is beautiful to me.
I want you to remember these three words. There is hope.
Yeah. We are back. We've got about 2 minutes here, ladies, to finish up on our Autism Works Now job placement program, innovative program, really the only one of its kind in the country that is teaching work skills. What do you want us to know in these final 2 minutes? Joanne.
I want everyone to know how incredibly talented our kids are. I want people to assume intelligence, if you will. That's a Matt Asner line. And to give our kids an opportunity.
Okay. And you have a camp coming up this summer.
We don't have a camp per se for the Autism Works Now because a lot of our kids go out of town, and we probably won't run the program during the summer, but it will start back up in August when school starts, parallels with school. But the Expressive Arts Camp probably we will have, and that's autismmovementtherapy.org.
Okay. And you were looking for something on the west side, though. What was that information?
Susan, tell about that. Yeah.
We are launching a workshop in Culver City, same thing we're doing on Thursday nights in Tarzana at the Culver City Senior Center. We're doing it in collaboration with the city.
Okay.
And they're donating the space. So we're looking for candidates that would like to come on a Saturday from 1:30 to 3.
And you're also looking for a space possibly because you're paying now, right?
Yeah, in Culver City they're donating the space, but in the Valley it would we do need we're getting a little bit cramped.
Larger.
Because,
All right.
Yeah,
So you're not looking for a lot of money. I mean, this is not a big donation that you need.
No.
It's just, you know,
Space.
you want space.
Yeah,
and
with
more funds for space.
That's right.
Okay, well, okay, you heard it. Let's get out the checkbook. Let's call these ladies. How do they get in touch?
autismworksnow.org or autismmovementtherapy.org, and we're a 501c3 nonprofit. So
501c3 nonprofit, and we know we're behind on this, folks. We know that. If you're listening, you're in a position of power. You can make a difference. It only takes one drop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the drop, and then the ripple effect. So we got to get support behind this program. What we got like 45 seconds here, so be quick. What do you want people to take away from this hour?
our kids are capable.
Okay, Susan.
We need employers to be willing to be educated and give our candidates an opportunity to show what they can do.
Yeah, and we've got a tsunami of kids that are about to hit the employment, the workforce.
That's right.
And we need places to put them.
50,000 graduates a year.
50,000 graduates a year. Where are they going to go? Let's not have them sitting on the couch. Let's get them out. Let's get them trained in programs like this. Let's get this program going around the country.
And give them self-worth so they have something to contribute to their
and
communities.
give them self-worth.
That's right.
We all want to feel significant.
That's right.
Right?
Have a place to go every day.
Have a
We
place
need a
to go.
meaningful life and a place to go.
And you're valued for what you contribute to that organization.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just want to say it has been an absolute joy to fill in for Shannon Penrod today. I am so inspired by what you are doing. And I want to say, I do this a lot. Shannon and I cry a lot on the show, but I want to say thank you for being pioneers for my son, Wyatt, because he's going to need a job one day. And it's because of people like you that that's going to be possible.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're out of time, right, Kelby? All right, we're out of time. Thank you, Joe and Laura. Thank you, Susan Osborne. Autism Works Now. Support it. And thank you for joining us. Goodbye.